Sérii rozhovorů s hvězdnými spisovateli vám přináší Albatros Media.
She has worked as a journalist, counterterrorism officer at the OECD, only to become an award-winning writer. She published her first book at the age of 30 in 2009. Her second novel, Daisies, won the Stabilo Prize Award and was nominated for the Best Swedish Mystery Novel of the Year. She has won numerous other awards for crime fiction and children's books. Her latest crime novel, Icebreaker, has been translated and published in the Czech Republic recently. The guest of DVTV is a Swedish author, Kristina Ohlsson. Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you know how many awards have you actually got, and are they important for a writer?
I think I would count them to 6 or 7. They are not that important. You see, I don't even keep track of them because I've been doing this for so long. Of course, it's really, really nice to be recognized as a writer and to get some sort of recognition from the branch itself, from other book lovers, from people who know about literature. But for me, the absolutely most important thing with the books are that they're being read at libraries, or if you buy the book, or if you loan it from a friend, borrow it from a friend, but being read is actually the most important and inspiring thing.
So if you would measure like either award or some comments from a reader, for example, on social media or during discussions, what is more?
It's always, if you say just one comment versus one award, okay, the award wins. But the total number of comments and the love that I receive from my readers are much more important, because it wouldn't be as fun if I wasn't read. We have quite many writers who win huge awards, but very few take part of their books. Perhaps because they demand too much of the reader, or if they are too slow paced, if they have focus on really lovely language instead of plot. But for me, the readers are everything in terms of what I get back from my books.
I have very plain questions. What do you like about writing?
I love the fact, it's in a way it's like playing with dolls. I am in command of the entire universe that I have created. I make all the calls, almost. My characters do get their own lives and wills sometimes. But I like to create this fantasy world and just make all the calls and make all of these people move the way I like. I love reading, and writing is a sort of reading, actually, with the difference that I decide what's going to happen next.
How much do you strategically plan, like the plot? How do you kind of, the characters, their interconnections? Do you have, for example, several endings in advance, or do you just let the story unfold naturally?
I just let the story unfold. I have something that I refer to as it's like a waterfall of fantasy, but it's only open. The gate is only open when I write. So I can't think beforehand, how should this develop? It wouldn't be fun. It would ruin all what is fun for me with writing. I am my first reader, and my whole method for writing, my code for writing, is that I look constantly surprised when I write. I wake up every morning thinking, what will happen next?
So you're actually looking forward to what is going to happen to your character now.
As if someone else was going to tell me. But I wake up every morning with a new manuscript. I end in the middle of a sentence, and then I just leave the table. And then when I come back the next day, it's like, okay, what's going to happen today?
Are you dreaming about it, for example,
I could do that in certain stages of writing, especially when I get close to the end, because then I'm very much involved in the story. And then it occupies my mind almost full time. Even when I see friends, I'm present at the dinner physically, but mentally I'm somewhere else. And that is actually the best writing period. The few last weeks.
So you're not invited to dinners much often.
I am. And I actually prioritize meeting friends instead of sitting with imaginary friends on a paper. But those weeks are fantastic, and the emptiness when I'm finished. Every time the same emptiness, almost like a slight depression. God, it's over for this time.
So you don't have like, okay, and my next book is going to be about, because you must be exhausted, no? So there is emptiness and exhaustion at the same time?
Yeah, I am exhausted when I finished one book, but then it's just a matter of months, then I start writing the next one. And I also write children's books in between. But the emptiness comes from, well, I've had so much fun writing. It's like reading for hours and hours and hours. And then when the party is over, it's just so silent. And all of these people that you invited to the party, that they are just gone. And there will be lots of times for reunite with them because they have to do all the editing and it takes forever. But it's not the same. For me, I know I have colleagues who loves editing. And I think Stephen King says to write is human, to edit is divine. But I don't have it in me to see it like that. To write is fantastic, to edit is to park yourself in the shadow and just stay there. I have no sun coming on me when I'm editing. I do it because otherwise you can't read it. And I want people to read it. That's where we started this discussion. I love being read, and I have to make the book as readable as possible. And that is my job. It's not someone else's job. But what I'm passionate about is the first draft, the first writing, when I'm so super excited about this adventure that I'm creating and the story that is evolving. And yeah.
As a former journalist, do you abbreviate a lot?
I have not. I've never.
Oh, well, you're a political analyst?
I was an analyst, yeah, but never a journalist. No.
Because I was thinking, when you say it must be interesting and entertaining for me, when I read, for example, my texts, I usually come to the conclusion that actually there is always something I can make it shorter and.
Yeah, and that's editing. And I'm very harsh on myself there. I kill darlings every day, and it hurts, but. I after so many books and so many years, I can see quite clearly what must be left for another manuscript or just be buried for life. And I can also see what I need to add, because editing isn't only about making things smaller, but to also highlight the things that really needs to be there for the reader.